boy, was he on it from dawn to dusk today, watching every twist and turn of this hearing. So as someone who essentially wrote about this all day long on Twitter, if you were to summarize what you learned, what would it be?
I think we learned that the Democrats are quite convinced they need to keep going with this Watergate cosplay in Washington. I mean, we learned no new facts. We heard the same stuff we've heard over and over again. We saw the same play acting. And I guess the only thing I learned is how committed these people are to running this farce of a process to the very end. I mean, it was... nobody was watching this because they wanted to, I'll tell you what. It was a bit masochistic having to sit through that whole ordeal.
Yeah.
The whole thing's just a farce.
You really get the sense that having power taken from them in 2016 was the pivotal tragedy of their lives in a lot of cases. They never got over it.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the central crime of Donald Trump's presidency is he had the audacity to beat Hillary Clinton when she was supposed to be ordained and coronated as the next leader of the free world. They said they were going to impeach him on day one. The day he was inaugurated, they said now impeachment begins at the Washington Post. And look, they tried it with the Russian collusion hoax. They tried it with their 25th Amendment nonsense, and that failed. And so now we're in the third version of their impeachment passion play that we're all being forced and held hostage to watch.
And I think you're right to call it that because clearly, there's a religious quality to all of that, a faith-based quality to all of this. So just to skip ahead a year, I'm starting to think all of this is making it more likely that the president wins re-election. If he does, and these people have promised their voters that they're going to stop Big Orange in his tracks, and they can't, he gets re-elected, what happens then? Seriously.
Oh, goodness. I mean, so look at what we have upcoming. So we're going to go through impeachment, and then we're going to have an election. We may have a Supreme Court vacancy. We saw how they acted after 2016. We saw what they did with Brett Kavanaugh, for goodness sake. They concocted these bogus crimes out of nowhere to smear a man who didn't do anything. They are going to lose their minds, and I know that's going to be a short trip given the current state of where they are, but they're going to lose their minds if Trump ends up winning. And I don't know if you saw, there was a poll out today in Wisconsin, huge flip in favor of Trump since these impeachment proceedings began. He's now beating all the Democrats. So they're going to be in for a tough road if this continues. Yeah.
And I really hope in the end, if Trump is reelected, and again, they're making it much more likely he will be, that someone responsible on the left stands up and cools the temperature a little bit, because we're going to be in trouble if no one does that, I think.
Yeah, you would hope so. I mean, thank you.